Hey y'all, and we're back again with another chapter for our Harry Potter deep dive. We're in the Sorcerer's Stone, chapter 5, which is Diagon Alley. This week's opening sentence is, Harry woke early the next morning. So we are waking up in the shack with Hagrid after Hagrid tells Harry that he's a wizard and they're going to go to Diagon Alley to get all of his wizarding supplies. So Harry is woken up by the delivery of a paper and he has to pay the owl with some funny looking coins, and it's just funny. So he has to pay him for it, and Hagrid's still a bit sleepy. They eat on some of his cake, but they decide to go ahead and go to Diagon Alley, and I find it funny that they don't even bother saying goodbye to the Dursleys. They just leave. So Hagrid is telling Harry about the Banks and Gringotts, the goblins, all of that stuff, and how he has money because Harry's worried about that. He doesn't have any money, and of course the Dursleys aren't going to give him any, but Hagrid tells him that his parents left him a small fortune in the bank, and is talking about Dumbledore and how Dumbledore needs him to go to the bank anyway to pick up something else, and talks about how much Dumbledore trusts him, and you can tell that Hagrid is very proud of that. He is so proud that Dumbledore trusts him so much to get this package from Gringotts to come and get Harry, and Dumbledore has just earned a lifetime of loyalty from Hagrid. Hagrid is very loyal to Dumbledore, and it never wavers. So Hagrid continues telling him about Gringotts and how there's supposedly dragons down in the vaults to help protect the vaults of Gringotts, and he talks about how he wants a dragon, and we know he gets a dragon. So that's really cool to kind of know and see in his future that briefly, for a small length of time, he does in fact get a dragon. So Hagrid takes Harry to the Leaky Cauldron, and everyone is so excited to see Harry. He's a little overwhelmed. There's a lot of people in the shop. Daedalus Diggle comes up to him again, and Harry recognizes him. He says, "You bowed to me once in a shop," and Daedalus is so excited that Harry just even remembers him, and it's super sweet. And then Hagrid, you can tell he's just really proud that he's the one that gets to bring Harry back to Diagon Alley. And I have said it so many times, but I will keep preaching it. Hagrid is Harry's true father figure. I just want to go ahead and say it. I don't think I said it in the last episode, but he is. Here in the Leaky Cauldron, Harry meets Professor Quirrell for the first time. In the text, it does not mention that he has a turban, so at this point, I don't think Voldemort is with Professor Quirrell, because I feel like if he did have the turban, J.K. Rowling would have used this opportunity to kind of insert that he had a turban just to have it there, but he doesn't, but she doesn't put that here in the text. So I'm assuming that he doesn't have it. He's already nervous, so obviously he's already working with Voldemort, but we know later on that Quirrell says that Voldemort then took over his body, and that's when he started wearing the turban. So I don't know. We'll have to see kind of how it's mentioned whenever they actually get to the castle, if it's mentioned then, but as of right now, it's not mentioned. Here, he even mentions being in the Black Forest, so that's also another hint of where he had been to meet Lord Voldemort later on. So, the Nimbus 2000 is briefly mentioned in this part of the story, but of course he doesn't buy it because he's a first year and he's not supposed to have one. We also see the poem that's on the outside of Gringotts. Enter, stranger, but take heed of what awaits the sin of greed. For those who take but do not earn must pay most dearly in their turn. So if you seek beneath our floors a treasure that was never yours, thief, you have been warned, beware of finding more than treasure there. I have loved that poem since I first read it. I even memorized it for a while. I had to kind of brush up my memory, but I just love the poem, and I felt like it was probably hinting at something, and of course we learn that he does find more than treasure way in the 7th book. So when he tries to take something, so it's pretty cool. I really love that poem. We meet Griphook, and they get into these little mine carts, and Harry mentions not knowing the difference between a stalactite and a stalagmite, and Hagrid says that stalagmite has an M in it. And let me tell you, anytime that comes up, I always say that quote. It's so silly, and it actually comes up a lot more often than you think. I think the most recent example that I have of that coming up in just random conversation was playing Dungeons & Dragons, and we were in a dungeon that had these stalactites and stalagmites, and someone mentioned not knowing, and so I said that, and nobody got the joke. They just thought I was being sarcastic. Such a shame. So we go to Vault 713 and the you know what is in there. Sorcerer's Stone. I'm so excited. So when I first read it, I don't really think I thought anything about what was in the package. Never crossed my mind. Of course, I was really young, so these are middle grade. But I just thought it was really clever how she just kind of mentions this package, and you just don't think anything about it. You know, you go with your parents all the time to pick up random things and they don't mean anything to you. So I think that's what it reminds me of. So after we get the gold, Harry goes to the robe shop so he can get fitted for some school robes. And this is where we first meet Draco Malfoy. Of course, Draco assumes automatically that he knows all about the world. And I feel kind of bad for Harry because Harry is definitely doing the fake it till you make it kind of thing. And I just feel bad for him because he's really trying not to sound like an idiot. So he makes his first disparaging comment that we hear about Hufflepuff, and it just bothers me to this day because I am Hufflepuff. I don't know if any of y'all knew that, but I would be a Hufflepuff. We are not Duffers, but it is Draco Malfoy. So he talks a little bit about Hagrid and kind of says that he's basically an oaf, and I love that Harry just immediately stands up for Hagrid. Hagrid has done nothing but show Harry kindness, and Harry is just automatically filled with that protective point of view, and I love that about Harry. It's so precious and innocent, and it just really shows what a good moral character Harry has. So Draco then asks why Hagrid is with Harry, and Harry says that his parents are dead. Draco says, "Oh, sorry," and then the text says not sounding very sorry at all. So that was very disappointing with Draco. Knowing who he is and who his family is, it's not surprising at all. I honestly feel like that Draco is, I mean, he's obviously a spoiled rich kid, and I think his lack of empathy for Draco's dead parents kind of would probably indicate that he's not very close to his own family and his own parents himself. And at this age, I don't think that Draco would probably have the emotional intelligence to know that he wants that kind of relationship, and that he's kind of, I don't want to say jealous of Harry, because I don't think he would be jealous at all. He feels happy. It's just he doesn't realize what he's missing because he's so young right now. So we fast forward a little bit to Harry getting his wand, and it's super exciting. We learn that James's wand was really apt for transfiguration, which is a good nod for him becoming an animagus later on in, you know, the story later on in the books. And I really liked that little bit of tidbit there. I will say that it was pretty ballsy of Ollivander to touch Harry's scar. I can't imagine just randomly touching a scar, especially one on someone's face. It's just really personal. Made me uncomfortable, and I don't blame Harry for being uncomfortable either. But we also learned that the wand that chooses Harry has a sister wand, basically, that Phoenix gave 2 feathers only, and the other wand was Voldemort. The other feather that went to that wand was Voldemort. So we also later learn in other books that Fawkes is actually that same Phoenix, but we don't learn that here. We finish up the chapter after getting the rest of his school supplies, and Hagrid gives him instructions on how to, he doesn't exactly give Harry instructions on how to get to the train, but he does give him the ticket and the date and everything. And I think it's just something that Hagrid doesn't think through. Like, he doesn't think about the fact that Harry doesn't know all of these things and doesn't know how to get to the platform to get his ticket. But I love this beginning relationship with Harry and Hagrid. It is so much more fatherly than Sirius. Just Hagrid really cares for Harry. Not that Sirius doesn't, but this relationship truly shows the beginning of a fatherly relationship. So let's keep talking about that in the Discord channel, or even down in the comments especially. I'd love to hear your thoughts, kind of what you think about Draco and maybe his feelings and his lack of empathy for Harry's dead parents and his own relationship with his family. I'd like to talk about that as well. Anything that you guys want to talk about really for Harry Potter, I'm down for. I'll be checking in with the Discord chat, of course. And let's just wrap up with this last sentence. Harry wanted to watch Hagrid until he was out of sight. He rose in his seat and pressed his nose against the window, but he blinked and Hagrid was gone. Don't forget, y'all are as good as gold. Y'all take care.